Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another crazy episode of the Chaos Theory Podcast. You know who I am. My name is Mr. Chaos. Tonight, I am joined by a guest who is loved by everybody that I know that knows her. She is one of the creative geniuses behind Mission Pro. She has always been fantastic to me. In fact, if you've seen any of the interviews that I've had lately, whether it's Casey Blackrose, whether it's been Brandon Weiss, Maddie Rinkowski, all of that is due to my guest tonight. She's an amazing person. Bust her ass. Not only is she on with Mission Pro, but she has her own photography business. I am very delighted, very overjoyed to have from Mission Pro, from TBC TX Photography, Miss Melanie. How are you doing tonight?
I'm good. Thank you. Busy as usual.
Yeah, I bet. You guys, I was just watching you guys' live stream, and man, do you guys have a schedule coming up?
We do. We are just as busy as Rosa. We have to keep up with her.
Yeah, I bet.
She likes to keep busy. I mean, if she's not training, she's working.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, especially people who I bring into the kind of indie scene in Texas, there's not a woman alive who works as hard as Thunder Rosa right now. It just, I discovered her probably when I first started this, and I have not stopped being a fan ever since. And a lot of it is her work ethic and how much she kicks ass and takes names. Some of it is due to the fact that I have a daughter who is half Latina, and representation matters. And Thunder Rosa is somebody that I can point to and say, look, this is your example. Yeah. And Mission Pro is that example. And you are a huge, huge part of Mission Pro.
I appreciate you saying that. But I feel like, this is all Thunder Rosa and of course Brian Rosa. This is their baby. They're due to do this. And I'm just another just a helper to try to help get that vision. Get that vision going.
Yeah, I mean, everybody needs help and everybody needs a team. How did you come to be involved in Mission Pro?
It's a very unusual story. I was the roadside photographer, and they needed more help. I started talking to Thunder Rosa about what my background is, and my background is actually in film and television. I was a production manager and a production coordinator. Keeping things organized and putting things together is my wheelhouse. So once Thunder Rosa kind of learned my background, it just kind of fit together at the right moment. It's what she needed. It's what I was good at. So it just was like kismet that it came together.
Absolutely. I mean, I follow you on Instagram, I follow you on Twitter, I follow you on Facebook, and I've seen your photography and the shoots that you've done with Jasmine and Thunder Rosa, and you're very talented as a photographer, which I think a lot of people don't realize how a unique set of skill that is, because you have to think about light and angles and what's flattering versus what's not, and clothes and what's going to reflect, and there's so much stuff that you have to think about as a photographer.
Absolutely.
And that's just still photos. We're not talking about action shots at the ring, about, getting people in motion and capturing that. So I think I first met you, and we didn't even really meet. The first Mission Pro show I went to was in February. And I drove all the way from San Antonio, had never been to Buda, Texas, never been there. And I said, you know what? Thunder Rosa's going. Let me go to my first Texas independent wrestling show. And I saw you working with different people and kind of not sitting still for a second. And I was like, okay, she is a huge, huge part of making this successful.
I appreciate that. I really don't Somebody's saying that they can hear double of me.
Yeah, so what is...
I can hear double in my head.
Yeah, what's going on is there's a little bit of a kind of a delay as well, like a robotic sound.
Mm.
And that could be... Are you just on Wi-Fi or are you plugged in?
I'm on Wi-Fi.
That's what it is. So if you plug the laptop or the computer directly into the router, that'll stop. But it's not that big of a deal. We'll fix it.
Okay. So yeah, once the show starts,
once the show starts, I don't
sit down. I keep things moving.
I don't sit down. I keep things moving. I make sure that
things are handled and taken care of.
Whatever Brian needs, whatever Thunder Rosa needs. So it's not pulled in 5 different directions. Because once the show starts,
they should have
a singular focus. Thunder's focus should be on the production. They should be on the matches, and it shouldn't be what's going on behind the scenes. It shouldn't be other stuff. So that stuff I try to take care of, and I try to be the buffer. Whatever I can take care of, or even get to Thunder Rosa or to Brian, because there's just so much stuff that's going on. That I don't want to require just the one person with everything if I can take care of it. Yeah, I mean, it is, like I said, everybody requires a team. There's something that you talked about on the stream that I wanted to bring up, and I've brought it up with Jasmine, and I brought it up with Dulce Tormenta, I brought it up with Gypsy Mac, and it's the speaking out movement, the getting the creepy bastards out of wrestling. And, it's so important now for not just women, but for everybody to feel safe in that environment.
Absolutely.
And I think one of my favorite things about Mission Pro is it is completely safe.
It really is.
Yeah. The men who are involved there are trusted, are vetted, and obviously one is Thunder Rosa's husband, and there's a few different men, but it is a promotion for women, ran by women, out kicking ass and really kind of outperforming most other indies in the country. But it's great because it's an environment like. My wife and I are bringing my daughter to the August 20th show. It'll be her first wrestling show ever.
Yeah.
And my wife's concern was these grown-ass men that go to watch wrestling, and sometimes they can be rude and they can be too much. I said, trust me, that ain't the environment for that.
No, absolutely not. I think that one thing that I've seen at pro wrestling is that the fans are all very respectful. But they are wrestling fans. They're going to boo, they're going to cheer. But for the most part, I mean, they know what the limits are, and they're very respectful to the bad guy or the person that's the face. But we love our Mission Pro Wrestling fans. Absolutely, 100%. They are so great. They support each and every person 100%. They've even gotten behind me. They've even booed me a couple of times, which I wasn't expecting because I'm behind the scenes. But hey, when Maddie Rakowski turns out to be your nemesis for a little while, and then it's what happens. When Jasmine Allure, you got to try and pop that ego bubble a little bit. It's what happens, but
Allure yep.
It's just so much. It is so much fun working with Mission Pro Wrestling. I didn't expect my career to turn like this. I was looking more just to be back into photography. After leaving television and film, I wasn't expecting this, but when Thunder said this is what she was looking for, was I interested? You better believe I did not second guess myself at all. It was an absolute profound yes. I mean, I feel like nobody says no to Thunder Rosa, and I certainly wasn't going to be the first one.
Yeah, she is not a woman that you want to have on your bad side. Ask Britt Baker.
Yes, exactly.
It's not a pretty place to be at. Ask Melanie's best friend, Mr. LaGreca. When I went to that show, when I watched Thunder Rosa chop LaGreca in his chest, I was like, oh my God, she's going to break this dude's chest plate. It was,
Yeah.
it was awesome. You guys put on some amazing matches. And the cool thing is it's not just local San Antonio or Austin wrestlers. I mean, Dulce Tormenta's coming from El
El
Paso.
Paso, that's right.
Gypsy Max coming from New Mexico. Holodead, I don't think is a Texas native. Genocide's not a Texas native. Like there are these women coming from across the country, not once, continuously because of the quality of Mission Pro Wrestling.
Absolutely. I mean, look at our champ. Our champ is from Puerto Rico. Holodead. I told her the only reason I remember where she is because she's a Browns fan. So she's coming from Cleveland. She's the only Browns fan I know, by the way. But I think that's the beauty of Mission Pro Wrestling is the fact that we get such an eclectic group of women together. Some of the matches that we've done, it's unbelievable. They've never been done before because these are matches that are like, I feel like they're no-brainers. You know, some of the women that have been on our shows, I can't believe they've never faced off against each other because they're some of the top ones in their field in what they do and where they are, that I can't believe that they haven't had the exposure that they're getting at Mission Pro Wrestling. But, you know, like it also goes back to the fans, you know, for Mission Pro Wrestling. The exposure that those women get is because of the fans. I mean, they've gotten us trending on Twitter, which is mind-boggling to me. Absolutely mind-boggling. Each show when they say, hey, we're trending on Twitter, I'm like, what? Our hashtag is way too long to get trending. And for some reason it's still trending. So I my hat's off to the fans. And of course for Emily, who's tweeting during the show, and Brittany Nicole, who's tweeting during the show. Those ladies are so multi-talented. I just try to retweet as fast as I can.
Yeah, you talk about somebody who I had Brittany on the show. And she's hilarious and she's just a sweetheart of a person.
She really is.
But she's also a badass. If you guys don't know, for people who are listening and watching who don't know, Brittany Nicole owns Elevate Pro in Louisiana.
Yep.
She's the booker, she's the promoter, she's the owner. And that may not sound like a big deal because Thunder Rose is doing the same thing with Mission Pro. But wait, let me tell you why it's such a huge deal. She's the only woman in the history of the state of Louisiana to own, book, and promote her own wrestling company.
That's right.
And Louisiana still has a commission that she has to answer to that were there in the 70s and 80s.
Yes. Yes. She is still fighting an uphill battle, I feel like, over there. I mean, but hats off to Elevate Pro for what they're doing and what they've done already. And hats off to her. Because she, I feel like, is another one of those women who wears so many hats and is always constantly busy, constantly working. And of course, you know, she's always with Mission Pro, and we love her for that because she's so great at commentary. She's so great on the mic. I mean, how could you not want her? She's absolutely hilarious too.
We literally went for about an hour and a half and easily could have stayed talking for another 2 hours just about the business and life and being friends. And it was like I've never met her outside of my podcast. I've seen her obviously at Mission Pro shows, but it was like I met my best friend.
Yeah.
She's
a gem. She's an absolute gem.
Yeah. When she definitely needs to be booked way more. Like, I love the fact that she has her stuff and then she comes and supports you guys. But this is a woman who should be working every weekend at some show somewhere.
Absolutely.
So the other thing that you guys announced on your stream that I really want to hit on is the formation and creation of MPW tag team titles.
This has been an idea for so long, but you know, I don't know if you've noticed this, but there is a lack of female tag teams, and I don't know why, but there really is a lack of female tag teams, and there's a lack of female tag team titles. So I feel like once these titles are formed and they're out there, I feel like tag teams are just going to be coming out of the woodwork. One, because who wouldn't want MPW gold around their neck, around their waist. But second, somebody needs to take down the Renegade Twins, because right now they're running roughshod over Mission Pro Wrestling, and they're one of the true tag teams that are out there killing it right now. And they came into Mission Pro and they formed this faction with Jasmine. So right now they're like a formidable force. So I feel like there's a lot of, and I've seen a lot of talk online that people are starting to gun for them because they've made their presence known. And I mean, who wouldn't? Who wouldn't want the gold and a shot with them in the ring?
They came in and made a really big splash on their first Mission Pro show, and they did it. They did it in a way that may have not been the smartest. Dulce Tormenta is not somebody you want to piss off.
No, absolutely not.
And Gypsy Mac is not somebody you want to piss off. So I completely agree. Is Gypsy Mac and Dulce versus the Renegade Twins needs to happen.
I said that as well, but Maddie was still a little upset about what happened to her nose. I mean, I think it looks better, so maybe Jasmine was right. I don't know. But, I think Maddie was still a little upset about what happened to her nose. I don't know if you saw the clip from Maddie at Mission Pro Wrestling. She yelled, "Hey, Gypsy, break her nose."
Yep.
That wasn't very nice. But so coming up on July 31st, you're going to have Maddie Rinkowski and Dulce Tormenta teaming up to take on the Renegade Twins, because Maddie felt like she deserved that spot, which, both those ladies are kind of upset.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, so I have had Jasmine on my show. She was actually the first professional wrestler I ever had the absolute honor of interviewing. And aside from the ring, Jasmine Allure is a fantastic person. She did something to me that I will forever be a fan of her for. When we got off, and I will always praise her for this to everybody that will listen. When we got off the interview, she sent unsolicited, unasked for, she got my address and sent my daughter, and I'm going to get choked up talking about it, an autograph picture and a couple of stickers, and it means the world to me as a father.
Yeah.
So Jasmine, the character, absolutely deserves to have her nose broken. Jasmine Allure, the person, I will support from now until the end of time, just because of how amazing she was to my daughter.
Yeah, Jasmine's all right. I'm just kidding. I am very proud of the ladies that have come out of the dog pound. They are just absolutely killing it. They've stepped up their game. Both Maddie came from Hybrid. Jasmine came from AAPW in Austin, and they both came to train at the dog pound. And it's always unusual when you go from one school to another, but they came in and they put there's so much work into it, and their work ethic is just unbelievable, because of the fact that they're training, they work their jobs, and then they're flying out to AEW for Dark or Elevation. It's like, it's the same thing. It's like you're around Thunder Rosa, and she just pushes you so much. And of course, these ladies already had that work ethic, or they wouldn't have been where they are. But it's like, man, just being around Thunder Rosa, you want more, you do more, and you want to do more for yourself, not just for Mission Pro, but also for yourself. That's why I feel like, man, we're just go all the time. But yeah, both my hat goes off to every single woman that stepped into the Mission Pro ring, because they leave better for it, I believe.
Oh, 100%. I mean, there's another lady that is involved with Mission Pro and Dog Pound that I want to talk about. And she's coming on the tail end of her career. I would absolutely be remiss without mentioning Jazz's involvement with Mission Pro and the Dog Pound. How has it been working with her and getting to know her?
So when I first met Jazz, see, I'm short. Everybody who's seen me, met me, I'm short. I'm 5'1", if that. And I don't know, Jazz always seemed larger than life on WWE. She always seemed just this this woman coming out, she's kicking butt. And so when I met her and she's maybe it's like a tiny bit taller than me, I definitely had to take a step back. I was totally shocked. But I have to say that I was really intimidated because, man, when she's not smiling, she's intimidating, guys. I'm not going to lie. But it was a surreal moment to meet her. Just to see this larger than life figure right in front of you and talking to you, and we're talking business and we're talking this and that. And then to have her at Mission Pro and to see how she helps put matches together, or to see her at the dog pound training and just tweak certain things to make it look better, or to make it look more crisp, or just little things to do that's better in the ring. It's amazing the things that she catches, and the things that she sees that maybe a lot of people don't. And of course that's her experience, but man, I hope that she never retires, because she is just a fountain of knowledge. And I think everywhere she goes, same thing, people leave better for it, because it's some of the things that she may say are so minute to other people, but when you actually put it into action in the ring, it makes a big difference in what and how you look to the fans. It's just she's just an incredible lady.
When I at which one was it where I sponsored? It was Keep 'Em Talking.
Mm-hmm.
When I sponsored, I went up and got my photo with all the ladies. I looked at Jazz and I was like, she is so short.
Yes.
And then 10 seconds later, she walked by. She didn't look angry, but she just looked like she had her focus face on.
Yes.
I was like, okay, I've never met somebody that short that I'm that terrified of.
Absolutely.
So Surfester B, this is an interesting question, wants to know, who do you think from Mission Pro breaks into the WWE?
Well, we've already had two. We've had Zoe Stark, who was formerly Lacey Ryan, and we've had Elena Black, who is now I just spaced on her name. But yeah, we've already had two people break into Mission Pro. And of course, we've had Red Velvet, who was on AEW, is now signed. And she was on Mission Pro. So I feel like, man, we're all of our talent is getting signed. So we just got to keep looking for more and more talent. Thank you, Ryan. Cora Jade. Elena Black is now Cora Jade. So I mean, we've already had two, and I just think that the level of talent we have, it's yes, and Avery Taylor too. That's right, she's signed to NXT as well. Thank you, Ryan. The level of talent that we have is just phenomenal. I mean, Kenzie Page is on NWA. She's also been on AEW Dark. From this roster, oh my goodness, it's honestly, I feel tough. Like genocide. If she doesn't get signed, is a damn shame, because she's got the look, she's got the talent, she trains. I mean, she trains. And if you guys see La Rosa Negra, she has upped her training like 1,000%. Why? And I think Thunder said this our first Mission Pro show. Why that woman has not been signed is criminal. And of course, Holodead. Holodead, honestly, she's so amazing. Signed or not, she's even said this before, signed or not, she's out there killing the game, and she is absolutely doing her damn thing, and I applaud her 100% on what she does, because she's like, it doesn't stop. Even if signed or not, she's not going to stop. She's 100% go, go, go. But those ladies, man, are amazing. So Holodead, Genocide, La Rosa Negra, man, what are those companies waiting for? I have no idea.
Yeah, Genocide, man. Again, this is something I repeat because I talk about Mission Pro all the time. Literally in like the last 10 episodes, I've talked about Mission Pro for half the interview. But Genocide reminds me of Beth Phoenix, like a lot. And
yeah,
she's one of those women where I'm like, there is money behind that woman. Whether she goes to a big company and they keep the genocide character, or they tweak it somehow, some way. Her athletic ability, her dedication to her body and her training and the way she eats and her hustle, like she's gonna make money.
Absolutely.
For an AEW, NW. She's already on NWA. Whoever
Right.
she goes with, she's gonna make them dumb amounts of money.
Absolutely. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention the Pink Dream, Alex Gracia, who, is on AEW, who's on NWA. She's now in the ticket to Ring of Honor. I mean, her work ethic as well is just off the charts. I mean, she's training in San Antonio, she's training in California, she's training wherever she goes, and still doing signings and still doing shows. And it's like, man, these women just do not stop. And they're just so, I guess they're my motivation. It's like, man, you guys are just keeping me motivated to keep going and keep moving up, because I got to catch up to you guys.
Yeah. I mean, you brought up Holodead. Holodead is, before I was a fan of her in-ring work, I followed her on Twitter, and she's probably one of the funnest people in the world to follow on Twitter.
Absolutely.
And not just fun. Like, if you need motivation, if you need a kick in the ass every morning, look at Holodead's Twitter.
Yeah.
The woman, look, Holodead is not a typical character that you're going to see on a big syndicated television show. Makeup, character be damned. The woman herself is fucking amazing.
She really is.
She's amazing. The work that she did with Thunder Rosa as the Twisted Sisters, her matches with Genocide at Mission Pro, her AEW turn finally coming up. Like, she's one of those women that, look, Britt Baker better watch out for Thunder Rosa, but Britt Baker also better watch out for Holodead, because that ain't the one you want on your bad side either.
Yeah.
And Thunder Rosa and Holodead are sisters, so you might want to be careful.
Yeah, they're not blood sisters, but they're sisters. They're sisters from another mister.
Yeah.
They might as well be, exactly. But Holodead is one of those women. I just feel like she's a force of nature. She's killing it in every match that she's done on the indies right now. If you guys haven't checked out her match with Masha, holy moly, it was amazing. I mean, trash cans and kendo sticks. I mean, and she doesn't consider herself a hardcore wrestler, but she is, to me, a legit badass wrestler. They're just definitely they're just kicking ass. She's kicking ass.
Oh yeah,
all over the indies right now.
That match, any match with Holodead and Masha, is going to be a hard hitting match.
Yes,
it's going to be insane. I know dudes on the wrestling indie scene that I've talked to that are scared to fight Masha Slamovich and Holodead because those two ladies will kick the shit out of you. It will just happen. Rosa Negra is also one of my favorite champions in any promotion anywhere. For the simple fact, since she earned the MPW title, she has defended it every single show.
Yes.
And she has the best frog splash in the game, bar none.
Beautiful frog splash. Beautiful frog splash. I mean, I tell her that every single time. I said, I don't understand how she can she gets so much air and she hits it perfect every single time. I feel like, sometimes people have an off night. She never has an off night. She's always on. And I would like to say that her character at the ring is different from her character in the back, but it's not. That woman is 100% charisma 100% of the time. She just oozes it from every pore in her body. And she just has this great energy about her. And I love her so much. It's like, how could you not want to smile around her? How could you not want to be the best around her? And I feel like she brings a different energy to the Mission Pro locker room. Like, when she gets there, the energy is like, just goes through the roof. She's that turns it up to 11. I mean, the locker room is already so positive and it's already such a great environment, but she walks in and she makes sure to hug and kiss and introduce herself to everybody like she's known them for like 1,000 years. And that's the way she greeted me. And when we did our photo session in San Antonio, man, like, you should have seen the amount of people stopping us to tell us how beautiful she was and the energy she had. And I said, dude, that's all you. She's like, oh, it's you, Melanie. I was like, no, that's all you. That's your energy that people are seeing. I'm just photographing it. That's, that energy she was putting out was all her, and people felt it. And that's who she is. And that's just how she is. She just radiates this energy. I love her.
She is so dope in the fact that not only can she absolutely murders it in the ring every time she goes, but her personality outside the ring. I've had the absolute honor of meeting her a couple of times, buying some 8x10s and her merch and supporting. And it's almost like she can't believe that people are willing to spend money on her. And then you as a fan are like, are you insane? You're like the best thing in the world right now.
Mm-hmm.
You're the best thing in the world that more people need to know about. And I will forever sing your praises because you're such. The humbleness helps. Absolutely, it helps. The in-ring work helps. But like you said, when she's smiling and when she's dancing, and it's infectious.
It really is. You can't help be drawn in by her. It's whether she's the face or the heel, she draws you in, and you're on her side no matter what.
So there's a question: does Brittany from Elevate ever wrestle? So I actually talked to her about this on my show. She knows how to take a bump. She is trained. She can, but she doesn't.
No.
She doesn't need that attention. She wants all the attention to be on the performers in the ring.
Absolutely.
And as a promoter, like Thunder Rosa is a wrestler. Thunder Rosa is an MMA fighter. Thunder Rosa is also a promoter. She's also a booker. But Thunder Rosa is mainly known for being on camera, being in the ring, kicking the shit out of people. So that's where her lane comes from, and she's amazing in that lane. Brittany can get in the ring and take a bump, but her passion from our conversation is putting everybody else in the spotlight, and let's focus on them and let me run things from the background.
Yeah. And she's great. And she's great at that too. Brittany is just another, like I said, all these women at Mission Pro, they all push themselves to do better and to be better. And I feel like that's the energy that they put in the locker room, is that there's no settling on just okay. There's no settling on, it'll be all right. It'll be a good match. No, they go out there and they do the best that they can. They're the best at what they do, and they want to bring it every time for the fans. And I feel like that's what Mission Pro, that's what it is. That's what Mission Pro is. We don't just want to give you a good show. We don't want to give you a great show. We want to give you something that you'll remember and keep talking about, which is why we're like, keep them talking. We want to, we play hard, we hustle harder. It's all about, this is all themes of Mission Pro. Our August 20th show, we named it Thunderstruck, because that's the way we want to leave you. Thunderstruck. We want every show has a theme of how we want to leave you. And I feel like that's, we're living up to it. Thank you, Ryan. Yeah. I feel like every show we succeed because the women are just so dedicated to Mission Pro. And I respect every single one of them.
The first review I did of Mission Pro after the February show, what amazed me is literally everybody, from the DJ to the ring announcer to the lady, the woman with the hard cam, to you ringside taking pictures, to everybody is covered in sweat by the end of the show.
Yeah.
Busting your ass to make sure that not only do the fans there get enjoyment, but those on Title Match Network or who's going to watch on YouTube later, or the replays or whatever, everybody's getting their money's worth. And it's something that for Mission Pro being a really big, well, hello, Miss Emily. For Mission Pro being a smaller independent company, you guys go out of your way to produce every show like it's WrestleMania, and it
absolutely
it makes it makes guys like me and the people that I know fiend for more Mission Pro. Like my buddy Rucker, shout out to Rucker. He's in Georgia and he does a wrestling podcast called Boot to the Face, and he has a
Okay.
couple other podcasts. He every time I talk about you guys, he's like, one, shut up, and two, when are they coming to Georgia?
That's Thunder Rosa's big speech though in the locker room before any show is that Mission Pro Wrestling. She goes, "This isn't just another indie show. We run it as if we are on mainstream TV." And she goes, obviously we are streaming it live through Title Match Network. So, we want to keep the professionalism. We want to keep the quality as high as we can because we want to make sure we give everybody the best product that we can. So that's her, that is her. She knows TV. I mean, she's worked for NWA, she's worked for Lucha Underground, and of course AEW. So she knows TV and she knows the work that goes into it. And that's something that we all need to follow. And that's her dream. And that's what she wanted to do. And we're just, doing it because she makes it so easy. I mean, Telly's there with Title Match Network. We've got the best commentary team. We got Emily doing live interviews. We got Sam Laterna or Baby D doing the announcing. I mean, how could you not want to step up your game and do the best product that you can when you have some of the best people in their field giving it their best? So we have to make sure that, big shout outs to Allison and to Jenny on camera. They're there busting their butt with their cameras, ringside, catching all the action. And of course, Angelica is now the ringside photographer. So we're all this team that work together, and we know that it's a dance that everybody has to do to make sure we all strive to give the best. But yeah, we run it as if we run it like we're Mania weekend every day, baby.
You guys really do. I mean, the February show that I went to, the first one that I went to, the main event, and this blew me away, and this really drew me in. The main event of that February show was Allison Kay and Thunder Rosa in a fucking cage match on an indie show. Like, look, the venue that you guys use in Buddha is called Pinball's Kingdom. Right. Fantastic venue, great food, great servers, great beer. It's an awesome place. But where you guys set the ring at, there's an overhang.
Yes.
So when they set up the cage, I was like, how the hell are they going to make this work? Because you literally take away your oh shit spots from people coming off the cage. And now Thunder Rosa and Allison Kay have to say, all right, how are we going to make them say oh shit without using the same old fly off the top spot? And they did it. They absolutely over delivered. The brawl at the end, Ryan, absolutely was insane.
Chaos, Ryan. Chaos. Those women make chaos for me. I mean, we got Richey Chanel combing people's hair. I think she was combing Genocide's hair. We got Danny B beating up on, Jenna Lynn. It was absolute chaos at the end, but I think we got everything settled. But Allison Kay and Thunder Rosa in a cage match. Hindsight, probably not a good idea since they beat the crap out of each other for 30 minutes because they went the full 30. Yep. There was no winner since they just, beat each other down. But I think in the end, it was such a great match because of the fact that there's so much heat there already. And each one is trying to outdo the other. And even without the spots off the top of the cage and stuff like that, the straight wrestling was amazing because it was just back and forth and back and forth. There was no, even to this day, I will tell Thunder Rosa, I'm sorry, I don't think there was a straight winner.
No, absolutely not.
Probably not what she wants to hear, but I don't think there was a straight winner in that one. Will we run it back? I don't know. I don't know if I can convince Allison Kay to get back into a ring with Thunder since they have some heat, but it was a great match.
We need, if that match is going to happen, they fought one-on-one, they fought in a cage. Now we need the Twisted Sisters versus Allison Kay and Marty Bell.
That would be amazing. I mean, I feel like Marty Bell, if she comes back, she's already got like another little chip on her shoulder. I think she's lost twice, so she's coming back with a little bit of a chip. So she's going to be pulling out all the stops as well.
Yeah, it's let's see. These women tell their stories in the ring. I've heard some people say you can have storylines. You can't have storylines on the indies. Mission Pro is proving that wrong 100%. Look, here's the thing about my show is I keep it 100% real. Everybody knows what pro wrestling is. It's entertainment. There's athleticism. It is, whatever. I'm not going to go into that, but everybody knows what it is. These storylines, the promos that these women cut coming to Mission Pro, the storylines that, look, I really want to see Maddie Rinkowski and Jasmine beat the crap out of each other.
Part 2, because I mean they did that earlier, but yeah, and somebody asked, did Maddie get a nose job? No, she didn't. She really broke her nose. It is broken. Yeah, no, it broke. It done broke.
Yeah, oh yeah, that she was on my show and black eyes and nose was all braced up and Maddie was legit hurt. Like if you think she wasn't, you're wrong.
No, she really broke her nose, and I know it was a little emotional for her because she had to sit out on a lot of stuff that she could not train, she could not have any matches. There was a lot of bookings that she had to cancel, a lot of travel for bookings that she had to cancel because of the brace that she had on her nose. No sweating allowed. I'm sorry, I sweat walking to the kitchen, so I don't even know how she did it. But they told her that the nose brace would fall if she started sweating. So I don't know what she did. If it was me, I'd be on the couch, like, I don't know, binging Bridgerton or something, eating popcorn. But I still think she was trying to work out. Yeah. That's Maddie.
Yeah. And that's the point of this is that, the storyline, listen, I still want a Genocide versus Holodead 3. I want it. That Falls Count Anywhere last man standing match that they had.
Yeah.
I was in the front row for that, and it was Locked and Loaded. It wasn't Keep 'Em Talking that I was a sponsor. It was Locked and Loaded. That match, I didn't get to see most of it because they were in the stands on the opposite side of the venue, or they were on the DJ booth.
Yeah, or they were in
shots together, vodka.
Yeah.
These guys,
hitting each other into the bell. I mean, come on, guys, not the bell. I don't want to buy another bell.
Yeah, no, come on, man. Those things can't be cheap. The storylines, man, those two, if you just take a Genocide and Holodead storyline, that's a fantastic, you could write a year's worth of pay-per-views on that feud. 100%. But then you have Rosa Negra. I mean, her story by itself, you put anybody in there and it's going to be compelling because of the personality she is. Thunder Rosa doesn't. This is what's so crazy about Mission Pro. I love Thunder Rosa. And again, she's the hardest working woman in the world. But Thunder Rosa doesn't even have to be in the ring, and Mission Pro is going to kick ass and take names.
Absolutely. I think that once you mention Thunder Rosa and Mission Pro Wrestling, I think, like I said, everybody just steps up their game because that's what she expects. And I feel like even though she doesn't say it, you feel it. Like, I got to give my best. I got to give my all. And that's what you want to do. And it's just, like I said, you also have Jazz there who's helping with matches. So another reason just to step up your game as well, whether you're in the back or you're in the front. I mean, everybody brings it because you're like, you have to. They're so used to a certain level. You got to bring it up to their level. You got to always do your best and push harder. God, I really do love Mission Pro. I never thought I'd find myself in this position to where I would be the production manager of an indie wrestling show. And I hate the word indie, but for a wrestling show like Mission Pro Wrestling,
yeah.
I never thought I'd be the production manager for a show like this. And for me to have this position and me to have just this level of responsibility for this level of show is absolutely dumbfounding and so amazing and surreal, all tied together. I'm enjoying every step of it, guys. I just want to let y'all know that even though it's a lot of work, I enjoy every single moment of it. It is just so much fun.
You can tell. You can absolutely tell. So I want to talk about in this last, throughout June, now through July and going into August, you have helped me get a lot of guests onto this show.
Yeah.
A lot of them, actually, most of them are School of Hybrid Wrestling alumni.
They are.
Maddie Rinkowski. I just had Brandon Weiss on. I just had Casey Martinez, who, if you guys are not watching Casey Black Rose Martinez and the Cult of Crowley, you're doing yourself a disservice. Those guys are fantastic.
Absolutely. Those guys are amazing. The Dog Pound and Hybrid School of Wrestling have given me so much, and I absolutely thank them for it. Chris Marvel over at Hybrid. I started getting into ringside photography. I wanted to know what I was doing because, going from one kind of photography into another, there's a different kind of etiquette. There's a different kind of set of rules. And I was still kind of finding my way with that. And shout out to all the wrestling photographers in Texas and outside of Texas, like Hebon in California, Chad Cooper in Houston, Scott Lesh out of the New York area. They let me pick their brains and they let me make sure that I was doing the right thing because I don't want to step on any toes. I don't want to do anything that is not considered like taboo and stuff like that, because there are parameters for photographers outside of wrestling. So I knew there was going to be parameters inside of wrestling, and they really guided me, and I loved them for it. So those guys really helped me. Chad Cooper, I had the pleasure of meeting him on a show, and even though we've only spoken on like Instagram Messenger, like we did not miss a beat. So I loved him. Another one I had the pleasure of picking his brain and actually finally meeting him because of Mission Pro was Brainbuster. Another amazing photographer who I absolutely love. He's just so creative. I mean, he still uses film and he still develops it all himself. And I'm like, dude, I love you, but I gave that up so long ago. But one of my favorite photos that I've taken, believe it or not, it was one of my favorite photos, was probably at Hybrid. I got to, and this, like I said, Marvel helped me through because he let me come in and photograph his student shows to help me learn the trade of wrestling photography. And I got to photograph Maddie Rinkowski's first ever match. And there's a photo there that you knew she was going to be a star. You knew she had it. She knew she had something. I mean, besides the big mouth, you knew she was going to have something talent-wise. But I absolutely love that match against her and Brandon Weiss because they're just so damn talented. And them together, just like, I feel like they really stole the show. And some of my favorite photos are from them in that match. So yeah, those are some of my favorite ones.
Brandon Weiss is my guy. The interview that he and I did, for those of you guys who don't know, look, Texas independent pro wrestling is on fire right now. School of Hybrid School of Wrestling, Dog Pound Dojo, Reality of Wrestling in Houston.
Yes.
I mean, there's promotions, River City Wrestling here in San Antonio. Yes. PPW out of Kingsville.
Yes.
There's so many promotions. I'm forgetting a bunch of them.
Yeah, GCWA and Corpus, and then of course you have Lucha Maniacs, and then you have there's New Texas Pro, and that travels a little bit. Man, there's so much. VIP in Dallas. There's so many amazing promotions and so many amazing opportunities for wrestlers here. There's also AWP. I do ringside photography for them. So there's just so many opportunities out here, guys, and I absolutely love every single one. Loco Wrestling, yeah, they're killing it. RWR, just so many. I could keep going. I feel like I could just keep going.
I mean, literally, guys, look, Texas wrestling. If you guys don't know the history of Texas wrestling, all I'm saying is look up the Von Erichs and the Guerreros. That explains everything.
Absolutely.
That's the lineage that these guys are coming in from. And whether, like Dulce Tormenta and I talked about it, she is from El Paso. Mm-hmm. That is Ciudad de Guerrero. Like, yes, that is their city. And it's a big responsibility to hold that on your back and be proper and be, not an asshole. Yeah. Plain and simple. And she does it so well. And all of my interactions with the hybrid guys and girls, Maddie Fester, absolutely. Maddie is a sweetheart. She was to me.
Nope. Maddie's a pain in the ass, let's face it.
But the guys and girls from hybrid have all been incredibly polite, on time, like just fantastic, man. And I've got Drew Hu coming up,
and another great guy. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to interview him. He's been such a cool dude on Twitter to me. And I've got Alexander Crowley and Lilith coming up, which I am very excited for, because personally I want to join the cult of Crowley. That's just me.
Don't join the cult. Don't go over there. Don't go to the dark side. Although they make it very tempting. I'm not going to lie.
They do. And Casey, like I said, Casey's such a good guy. And the whole thing, these guys are trained right. And they're trained to be polite. And they're trained to be good people on top of just good wrestlers.
Absolutely. That's another thing that Chris Marvel and the Dog Pound Dojo, Thunder Rosa and Jazz and Rodney have done, and Brian have done so well, is that when we have a Mission Pro show, a lot of times we do need extra hands. I've had Candace come out from Hybrid. She's ran our hard can for us. And then, of course, the Dog Pound Dojo is there to help us run security or do tickets or do whatever needs to be done. They're there, and they're such hard workers. And we've had Hybrid come out. They've helped me put, truss and lighting together. What else do you need? What can we do for you? They're such a great group of kids coming out of these schools that I just cannot say enough stuff positive about. Casey, I've known him since almost day one when he started training. So I've seen his evolution, his wrestling journey, going from someone who was a little maybe nervous and apprehensive when he started wrestling. And now his confidence is I feel like it's through the roof. He's had some personal setbacks, it's never stopped him. He's never once saying, no, I can't do this. He's just pushed harder and done more. And with 6 months of wrestling under his belt, and he's already so good, I can't even imagine where he's going to be in the next 6 months. And if he's listening to this, I'm sure his head and his ego is getting bigger, but I don't care. He deserves all the props. And same for Brandon Weiss. Brandon has always championed me, my wrestling photography, even when I was new. And I was like, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. I'm entering a guy's world because there's not a lot of women in it, not a lot of female photographers. Should I? Can I? And he's like, do it. I appreciate you taking these photos. And I want to use your photos to promote myself. And I was like, well, okay. So, those guys have always championed me and been behind me. So, I always appreciate them so much. And I appreciate Marvel letting me into the school to do the promo photos, to do the ringside photography for the shows.
Yeah, those guys. Those guys.
I know how hard it is to break into a family atmosphere, and that's what it is. Yeah. They're a family, and so is the dojo. Yeah.
Those guys have been. Man, it's been, as a fan. Again, I'm not in the business at all. I would like to be announcer, podcaster, whatever that would be, but I'm not. So as a fan coming from the outside, getting a chance to interact with these people, and like Casey, I was his first ever podcast interview.
Yep.
That's huge for me because the kid, and he is a kid, he's only 24.
That's right.
The kid is going to the fucking moon. If you don't believe me, follow him on Twitter. I'm telling you, watch anything he's involved with, Cult of Crowley or singles match, and the dude is a fucking star.
He really is. He really is. Drew Hu, same thing.
Oh yeah.
There's just Drew is oozing talent. There's just so many. There's Garrison, the Texas All-Star out there, and of course Alexander Crowley and Lilith, who they're married and they're just a team to be reckoned with. They really are. Their vibe, their creepy vibes are off the charts. And just speaking of vibes too, if I don't mention Trinidad, he's gonna bust me on Twitter because apparently he busted Casey for not putting him over. So I'm putting you over, Trinidad. I'm feeling your vibes. He brings the Caribbean vibes. He's from Trinidad and Tobago, so he's bringing all the vibes.
I'm with it. Look, I'm gonna put this out right now. If there are any hybrid School of Wrestling students or performers or anybody that wants to come on my show, just based on the interactions that I've had so far, just let me know and we will get it taken care of. I am more than happy to put you guys out. Chris, Marvel, if you want to come on my show and plug hybrid all over the place, brother, I'm more than with it because you are doing the right thing with the next generation.
He really is.
And Funaki too, obviously.
Yeah, and Funaki. But, if you guys, I'm going to put him on the spot. Marvel was a really good wrestler. Or he is a very good wrestler. And I think some of his matches are on YouTube, so I'm sure you can go back and check it out and embarrass him.
So before I let you go, before we wrap everything up, I do want to get into your photography.
Yes.
You do so much in the pro wrestling thing, but it's not the only thing you do. So what got you into photography? Where did that come from? Was it from the time you were a little, Melanie, or was this through high school and college thing? Or
so I got into photography accidentally. I was working at the PBS station in San Antonio. It was like a show that teens could work on, and of course, I loved TV and I loved photography. I did love TV, and I knew I wanted to do something in that genre, and I started doing photography on set. So I knew that I wanted to do that. And I started doing more and more photography at my high school because they had dark rooms, they had classes. So I started doing that. But when I finally got to college, it was like, pick one. Do you want to do television and film, or do you want to do photography? Because of the fact that it was just such a heavy workload and I knew I wanted to be done in 4 years. I didn't want to spend any extra time. I'm not a school person. I'm just not. So I chose to do photography as a minor, and I stuck with television and film, but it was always something that I loved. You could always find me on set with a camera, at work with a camera. So when I decided to step away from TV and film for a little while, it was a no-brainer to go back and relearn everything in this digital age, because I did come up with, film, and I learned how to photograph with film and rolling film and developing film and stuff like that. I had my own dark room. So doing everything in this digital age was different, but it was just it was so exciting to relearn it all. I started getting into fashion and, I don't know, like lifestyle photography and some boudoir photography. And then my husband's a huge wrestling fan. I said, you know what? And I'm sorry to some of the wrestlers, but some of the promo photos were not great on posters. The lighting is bad. You could tell it's a cell phone. And I'm like, I'm not in it for the money. I just want to help. I want to help you look better. I want to elevate what the posters look like. So I started doing promo photography, and I started doing more ringside because it's what I love. It's what I really loved. And I was very standoffish at first with the wrestlers. I didn't want to interact too much because that is not I didn't want to be that person. I didn't want them to think that I was just there for them. Technically, You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But with the personalities in wrestling, I mean, they were just so nice and they were so welcoming, and they invited me into their wrestling community. So how could I not get more involved? How could I not want to do more for them and, be like an ear for them to talk to or whatever? Even though I'm older than probably most of them, they've all become like my family and my friends. So yeah, I really loved it.
your photography is awesome. So I have friends who dabble. This is the great thing about having been in the military for 10 years. I have friends who dabble in everything. I mean, I have friends who are making short films and documentaries in one
Mm-hmm.
section. I have obviously my podcast friends. I have my friends who know zero about wrestling and think I'm a huge nerd because I collect wrestling belts and action figures. Um,
Yep.
but what's cool about it is in wrestling, literally, you don't know who you're going to make or who
Right.
you're going to meet.
Right.
Like a guy like, for example, an Alexander Crowley, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tattooed, long hair, looks like he's just into like horrible, crazy screamo death metal. Uh, but something as a wrestling fan and as a fan of dope personalities, he makes me sit back and go, I could be friends with that guy. That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
So I can understand how the personalities draw you in. There was a question, I don't remember where it was at, but somebody asked if you had to pick one person, who would you say in the wrestling world is your best friend?
Oh my gosh.
And that
Wow.
might get you some heat. So I apologize.
It's gonna get me a lot of heat. My best friend. I feel like I should say something that's safe that nobody can give me. Oh my god. Whew. Whew, guys. That's a hard one. That was a hard one. Wow. I don't know. I mean, I they're like a lot of them are like my little babies. I talk to them and I ask them, wrestling questions if I don't know something. They ask me stuff if they don't know something. Um dude. Right now, yeah, my best friend is my camera. Thank you, Ryan.
Ryan, stop trying to take the heat off Mel. We want straight answers on this show. We keep it 100.
Oh my goodness gracious. Right now, I think my thing right now, my best friend is probably Thunder Rosa because of the fact that I'm always up in her text messages and DMs and emails trying to get a hold of her or get her approval for stuff. So if I'm not her best friend, then I'm a straight up stalker, guys. So let's use the good term let's say I'm her best friend.
That works. No, Thunder.
Yeah.
So look, we're going on over an hour, and I don't want to keep you too long because you just streamed before this.
That's fine.
But I can't be more complimentary to the job that you guys at Mission Pro do and Hybrid School of Wrestling and you personally, man. Like, it's so cool from a fan's perspective and somebody who's tangentially kind of forming relationships in the business with you and with guys at Hybrid School of Wrestling and hopefully let me finish. Let me say something before I finish that. So, guys, just because I'm very, very proud of what just happened today, if you guys don't follow me on Twitter, I just booked Nick fucking Aldis from my show.
Yeah.
That's an NWA
Amazing.
World Heavyweight Champion.
Yes.
Okay, I'll stop.
No, I love it. It's great because I mean, when I consider you a wrestling podcast, and that's why I feel like it's great because you still have to get hyped for your guests, and if you're not hyped for your guests, why are you doing this? And to see how excited you are for your guests is amazing because that's the enthusiasm we want. That's the enthusiasm that I feel like people want from people who are interviewing them. You don't just want to be like, oh yeah, you're just another one. But to have the enthusiasm and to have actual questions is awesome. And I love the fact that you're so excited for each person that's coming on the show. It makes it fun.
I'm very, very blessed. I started this podcast just about 15 months ago. And for a while, I wasn't getting downloads. I wasn't getting listens. It was just me kind of doing it for me, kind of therapeutic because I'm a fan. And then I being a halfway decent person, I got introduced to some people on Twitter and we clicked and I've been getting these opportunities and then becoming a fan of Mission Pro and meeting you and meeting Thunder Rosa and Shaw Guerrero, who I really hope to have on the show one day. I'm very, very blessed. And I tell everybody this. and that comes on my show. While I am a fan of pro wrestling and I am a giant nerd about it, cue the freaking IWGP US title sitting on my dresser. I'm also a fan of people, and I, we don't have to necessarily talk in kayfabe. We don't have to talk in character. I don't want it to feel like you have to promo your character. This doesn't have to be an hour-long promo. I want to have a conversation.
Right.
I want to get to know Melanie. I want to get to know Dulce. I want to get to know Gypsy as people outside of the ring and away from the business. And I think that's what I kind of bring a little bit differently. Again, not to pat myself on the back. For most wrestling podcasts is the fact that I'm not, oh, you had a rivalry with this person and blah, 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 blah. That's cool. And we all know that and we all watch it. But I want to showcase people as people. And Mission Pro as a company is more than just these women are kicking ass in the ring. Like everybody who's ever been with Mission Pro, you, Thunder Rosa, I mean, Ryan, Thunder Rosa's husband, her son on Instagram, everybody promos the hell out of Mission Pro because they love Mission Pro.
Exactly. Yeah.
And even the guys from Hybrid School of Wrestling who aren't really wrestling for Mission Pro aren't wrestling for Mission Pro at all, except maybe on the August 20th show. We'll see. Spoilers.
Right.
Even those guys put Mission Pro over and put you over and Thunder Rosa and the Dog Pound Dojo over because it's such a family environment. And I feel like, and I appreciate the fact that you guys are starting to let me into that family environment. And like I said, you guys make it fun to be a wrestling fan again.
Absolutely.
So before we go, you guys have July 17th in Jacksonville coming up, the Taco Fest. Be out. Is that Mission Pro's first show on the road?
Yes, it will be our first show on the road in Jacksonville. I'm a little nervous. I've never been to Florida, so send goodwill and good wishes.
Drink a lot of
rain.
Drink a lot of whiskey. July 31st in Conroe. That's going to be amazing. And just, I want to announce this. They haven't even announced it on Twitter, but I am sponsoring Dulce Tormenta for July 31st because she is one of my favorite people in the entire world. And she's going to end up coming back on the show. I'm manifesting it now.
She's just great. She's also going to be on the, I'll say right now, I'm going to drop it. She's going to be in tag team action, in intergender tag team action on August 20th. So it's going to be Dulce Tormenta and Hijo del Impostor. And they'll be in intergender tag team action. So they're going to be a tag team, a lucha tag team out of El Paso coming into August 20th, which is going to be so exciting. And if you guys don't know, her brothers are some of the loudest fans at Mission Pro Wrestling. So even if I have to pay her to bring them, I will I will pay her because they're such big supporters. There's her mask.
That's how much of a mark I am for this woman. I bought this for my kids and now it's sitting in my collection.
I mean, it's a badass mask. She's got a great look and a great mask and a great energy. I'm gonna say it, out loud. I love her. She came into Mission Pro. She was up in my DMs asking, about Mission Pro. I let some time go by. That's my bad. I let some time go by before I contacted her, but I was like, okay, let's see what you can do. Come on down to Mission Pro. Let's see what you can do. And she did it. And she brought her brothers and she had big family support and I love them. The whole family is amazing and they're doing their thing in El Paso too, which I'm so happy for because she really does deserve to be in the ring. She is just bred for it.
Yeah. She's an amazing person. I think their promotion in El Paso is called EPW Heroes.
Yes, EP Heroes. Yeah.
Those guys, man, look, this is how dedicated this woman is. And again, I like to give people their props. She literally, all of her brothers used to wrestle. And on her ribs, she showed it on her show. She has all of their masks tattooed on her rib. If that ain't dedication to family, I don't know what is.
And they have such cool masks. Good thing they had cool masks because she got them tattooed on her ribs. But yeah, it's such dedication, and they're so dedicated to her as well. Like I said, I would pay to have her brothers at every Mission Pro Wrestling show. They're such big fans, and they're if you can be a wrestler and a mark, they're both.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've been, like I said, I've been blessed enough to have the opportunity to talk to her about it, and then she's shared some YouTube clips with me that they were putting out, and her brothers killed it in the ring. For whatever reason, they're not wrestling anymore, except her youngest brother.
Yes.
But she's so great. She's such an amazing person, and all the women that you guys bring down, again, we'll keep stroking Mission Pro because I love it so much. All the women that you guys bring down are it's next level stuff.
It really is.
When I started getting into the indie wrestling, I figured, or independent wrestling, I figured, okay, there'll be a lot of botches in the match. It'll just not be that great, but it'll be cool to see live wrestling. And then I went to the February show of Mission Pro, and I was like, well, I was fucking wrong. It was amazing. I mean, first match, the main event, amazing. And it's been that way every time I've gone. Yes. And every time I've watched on title match. Locked and Loaded, there were some issues technically because of the rain. That got taken care of, and everybody was able to watch. I can't wait. So, July 17th, Jacksonville, Florida.
Yes.
July 31st, Conroe.
That's right.
August 14th, Greensboro, North Carolina.
That's right. And somebody mentioned Hollywood. Might see her on a Mission Pro show. I'm a big fan. If you guys don't know who Hollywood is, go check her out because she is she's a character, guys, and I love her. I'm not gonna lie. I'm putting that out there right now. Hollywood is. I'm gonna get her on a show. It might be Greensboro. It might be another one, but yeah, I'm manifesting that because she is a character and I love her.
Oh, her promos are amazing. August 20th, Salvation Army Charity Show. Listen, if there's one Mission Pro show you guys support this year, support them all. I'm not telling you to just single this one out. Support all of them. But Salvation Army is especially close to Thunder Rosa's heart, and it's a charity that does huge things for the community here in San Antonio.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Brad Mahar over at the Salvation Army is amazing. He's, last year during the pandemic, they didn't hit their goal as much as they would have liked. So this year we're making up for that. And I think that Mission Pro is definitely going to not just help them hit their goal, but we're going to exceed it. Because that's the way Mission Pro does. We don't just give you good, we give you great, we give you the best. And that's what Thunder Rosa wants. And of course, I'm going to drop this live right here. Not only are they going to be intergender tag, but the one, the only Fuego del Sol is going to be on the show. He just got his first AEW Dark win tonight. And he was in tag team action with Marco Stunt. He is on fire this year. I could not manifest, such amazing things that he's already done, but I could not have imagined more for him because he is such a good guy in and out of the ring. That I love it. I just love him so much, and I'm so happy for him. So yes, Fuego del Sol will be in action August 20th at Mission Pro Wrestling's co-ed show. We'll also be seeing another AEW Dark alum there, Chandler Hopkins, because that man is same thing. Go. Physique of a Greek god statue, guys. If you don't know who Chandler Hopkins is, go check him out. An amazing talent and a great guy. He's the cowboy, and we love him. I mean, how could you not want a cowboy on a Texas show, right?
Absolutely. You got to have cowboys in Texas. Look, guys, this week has been fantastic. Mission Pro, go to Mission Pro, what is it? MissionProWrestling.net or
MissionProWrestling.net. I mean, August 20th tickets are already on sale.
On sale.
And we didn't even get into we didn't even get into September yet. We're going to get a whole weekend in Oklahoma, September 11th and September 12th, a whole weekend in Oklahoma, one in Oklahoma City, one in Tulsa. I mean, we're going to be busy.
Yeah, y'all going to be traveling a lot. But look, Oklahoma in September, and then October 23rd back in Conroe, Texas.
That's right.
Man, you guys look at missionprowrestling.net. Buy your tickets. Support. There's merch there. ThunderRosa.net. Buy her merch because her merch is
Absolutely
fucking awesome. I'm still Thunder Rosa. If you're listening, and I hope you are, you have to come on the show first off, and second off, I want that Thunder Rosa action figure back. We have to get more of those, and that Thunder Rosa pop. I want that Thunder Rosa pop.
I'm gonna drop something for you that you might want to get. I don't know. So the brewery and Mission Pro Wrestling have teamed up. So if you are gonna be at the show on July 31st, they're coming out with an exclusive limited edition shirt for Mission Pro Wrestling. So their logo, guys, since their logo, their signature is the Bombshell Blonde. That's their beer at the Southern Star Brewery. They have a lady on a bomb. For Mission Pro, will be Thunder Rosa. So limited edition shirt, one time only, for that night. There will also be a limited edition Mission Pro Wrestling brew. So lots of things happening that you have to be in Conroe, Texas for. It's going to be so much fun.
Look, man, look at the exclusives you guys can get just being involved with Mission Pro.
Yeah.
I will tell you, there is not a bigger party that you can go to. The fans are amazing. The sponsors, I got to sit in the sponsor section last time because I was a sponsor, and I was two rows behind ringside, and literally the seat in front of me was fucking Mark Henry.
Yeah.
You never know who's going to be at a Mission Pro show.
Exactly.
So,
and that, we even tell our talent that as well. The wrestlers, it's like, you don't know who's out there. I will drop a little tidbit that I won't say which show it was, but we did have a scout in the audience. So Mission Pro is definitely on radars, guys. It's amazing to even know that certain people are watching and taking an interest.
Yeah, Mission Pro is, look, Dave LaGreca puts you guys over all the time, even though he's got this beef with Thunder Rosa.
But he loves me. We got to put that out there. He loves me.
You are his best friend. In your promo pic that I put up today, I almost used the picture of you and Dave LaGreca.
Okay, somebody want to know who my best friend in wrestling was. There you go. It's Dave LaGreca, guys. You know what? I'm changing my answer. Thunder Rosa is going to hate it, but it's Dave LaGreca.
The only reason I didn't use it is because there was a section in the background where some guy's on a computer and I couldn't figure out how to take that out. And I was like, all right, we're not going to leave this random person in this picture.
Yeah.
Listen, go support Mel, TCBTX Photography. Her Instagram, Facebook, Twitter is all scrolling on the bottom of the screen. Look, Mission Pro, the photography, they're going on the road. Women's wrestling, and not just women's wrestling. Fuck that. Let's cut that title. It's wrestling. I love the fact that right now, women who are wrestling are getting such a big spotlight on the independent scene. Mm-hmm. But let's take the fact that they're women and make that less important and make it more so that they're kick-ass, just wrestlers that people want to see all the time. Support Mission Pro Wrestling. Support Hybrid School of Wrestling. Support Melanie. Go look. She's on YouTube every Tuesday on a mission. Watch her channel. You guys, remember, you can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Teespring and whatamaneuver.net. Fullpresscoverage.com for my podcast, Boot to the Face, Talkamania, Irish Whip, Crossbody of Work, Ringside Rant. Ringside Rant just had the former Killian Dane on, the first interview he gave since getting released. Go check fullpresscoverage.com for your wrestling podcast needs. You guys, thank you for the love. Thank you for the support. Ryan, Sir Fester, everybody who's been in here. Brian was in here earlier.
Yes.
Let's see who else was in here. Good
Guys,
God.
don't forget to follow and support, Dog Pound Dojo as well, because, they're killing it out there. And also, if you guys are interested in my prints from Mission Pro Wrestling, they are on my Smug Mug account. You can find that in my profiles and my link trees and stuff like that. So I appreciate all that stuff and all that love. But yeah, I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me, and appreciate everybody in the comments as well, because I know you guys have other stuff you could be doing, but I love talking. I love the fact that you guys were listening.
Absolutely. Me too. You guys, I love you. Thank you for the support. Continued success, Mel, to you and Mission Pro. And look, if worst comes to worst, I can guarantee you will always have at least one person at Mission Pro, and it will fucking be me in the front row.
Thank you.
Ever. Guys, thank you for the support. Thank you for listening. Anytime you download the episodes or send me love on Twitter, it means the world to me. You guys don't know how this show has affected my life personally. So remember, chaos is life, and life is chaos.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode. Be sure and follow the podcast on Twitter at chaos_theory.